Hello and welcome to another Heatstroke Games painting tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be covering the terrain for the Masters of the Universe Battleground game. We're going to do this in several stages and several videos to keep the length a little short. So the first thing we're going to do is prime the terrain pieces in black, and after that I'm going to come in with an overbrush of pewter gray from Apple Barrel. I like to use the cheap acrylic paints from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Walmart or whatever when I'm working on terrain, because I'm using a lot of paint, and using my mini paints I would go through pots and pots of paints in such a quick amount of time that grabbing these cheap acrylic paints will work perfectly fine for terrain, unless you're trying to enter this terrain into a contest or something. This paint will be fine. So as you can see on the first piece, what I did was I went in with some Vallejo model color gray green, and on this one I'm going in with the Apple Barrel pewter gray. Just kind of show the little differences. I ended up going back over it with the pewter gray just to keep everything the same, just to show how easy both these different paints are to get the look that you're going for on this terrain. You can use your mini paints if you choose to, however you're going to go through a lot of paint, so just bear that in mind. So just come in with an overbrush on all of this terrain. I like to use makeup brushes for this. They're really cheap. You can get them at pretty much any convenience store or a department store, Target, Walmart, things along those lines. They work really well, and again, they're super cheap, and they hold paint pretty well. So here's what the table looks like with all the terrain, just with that overbrush and just kind of laid out, just showing what it will look like, at least just getting that base layer down, and you're already looking 10 times better than you did out of the box. Next thing we're going to do here is do a wash of all of the walls, and the first thing I'm going to do is I have a wash that I created using the method from Blackmagic Craft. So I'm going to do that on half of this wall here, and then as you can see I have that Vallejo Game Color black wash. I'm going to come in and wash that middle bar here in just a second, just to kind of show the contrast between the two. The initial wash that I created was not dark enough, so I actually am going to come in and add more black ink to that wash and add it to the other side of this wall, and you'll see it's a pretty close match. Again, you can use your mini wash if you wish. You're going to go through a few pots of Nuln Oil or strong tone or whatever you wish to use, where this method of just getting some diluted ink and washing over what you want darkened will work really well. I will post the link to the video from Blackmagic Craft in the description below. And that's what your terrain should look like after it's fully washed. Obviously your wash may be a little different, but that's the general look of it. As you can see, here's the two different walls, one with the gray green and one with that apple barrel, before I went back and put everything with that apple barrel pewter gray on everything. Next thing we're going to do is do a pretty heavy dry brush of, again, apple barrel elephant gray. Dry brushing, if you haven't done it before, you'll get a whole bunch of paint, or not a whole bunch, but you get some paint on your brush. Get almost all of it off on a paper towel or a piece of cardboard or something, and then just kind of lightly go over whatever you're trying to highlight, making sure the recesses stay the previous color that you had, and that wash will stay in those cracks and crevices. And here I'm going to come in with that apple barrel granite gray. And what I'm going to do is do a very light dry brush, just getting the very edges of some of this brickwork here. And then we're going to be done with this piece actually. Now you do different colors. I know on the box art it looks like the walls are a little more turquoise. I just happen to have gray on hand, so I went with gray. But obviously if you want to do any other colors, that's obviously your choice. Just do the dark, medium, light tones as we did in this video. That's it. Quick and easy getting the walls all finished up. Hopefully you found this helpful. We're going to come back a little later and do the rest of the terrain and the computer screens and everything. But until the next episode, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all those normal YouTube things, and embrace your geek.